LGE will definitely be postponed. Minister Mustafa denies chicken shortage. And Guyana celebrates Anti-Corruption Day. Hi, I'm Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see what's happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. A new date will have to be announced for Nominations Day, following GCOM's consideration of App News concerns regarding the voters list. This means local government elections will definitely be postponed. The coalition contends that the current list was extracted from the list for general and regional elections and does not consider the residency requirements for electors. Already, GCOM CEO Vishnu Prasad has proposed a brief period of claims and objections to rectify the shortfall. Chief Election Scrutineer for the APNU AFC Coalition, Carol Smith-Joseph, was on Wednesday summoned to SOCU headquarters. According to a statement from APNU AFC on Thursday, Smith-Joseph was reportedly not given a reason for the summons. She was asked to report to SOCU headquarters in Georgetown on Friday. The coalition said it believes that the move is political, as it was Smith-Joseph who filed the court action last week that will likely result in another round of claims and objections for the upcoming local government elections. The Maritime Administration Department has noted with concern that some operators are requesting more than the approved fare of $100 for the Georgetown to Vredenhoop speedboats. They said all of the rates are as follows: Georgetown to Vredenhoop $100, Parika to Supinam $1,300, Parika to Wakenham $1,000, Parika to Laguan $500, Parika to Bartica $2,500. And the Maritime Administration has promised consequences for captains who continue to overcharge passengers. The Georgetown Public Hospital is disputing reports that a patient, Quason Benjamin, died at the hospital because he was reportedly left unattended for days. In a statement on Wednesday, the hospital said Benjamin developed blood clots during a surgery, and this resulted in his death several days later. According to reports, Benjamin suffered 2 broken limbs and went to the hospital for surgery. GPHC denied that he was given improper care and stated that it cannot divulge more of his case as it goes against doctor-patient confidentiality rules, but nevertheless, they have spoken to his family privately. An undisclosed amount of money and appliances was stolen during a robbery at the Best Buy variety store on Wednesday night. The wife of the store owner, Devi Lakram, said that the office doors were destroyed, the CCTV system damaged, and the burglars cut through the zinc roof to gain entry to the building. A report of the robbery has since been made to the police and an investigation has been launched.
Did you know it's bad luck to start the new year with a Barack truck? Make this a December to remember with Powered Automotive. Powered Automotive has truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Following reports of concerns raised by local farmers about the rising mortality rates among chickens, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa told Sobrik News, quote, "There is no disease affecting the industry, and yes, we have sufficient production for the holidays. There will be no shortage for the holidays," end quote. Managing Director of Bounty Farms Limited, David Fernandes, said that measures have been implemented to have an adequate supply of the meat available, including issuing new licenses to some persons to raise the chickens. The gold miner, who was accused of a vicious cutlass attack at a mining camp in Aurora, has been arrested. The man, who police have yet to name, is accused of fatally chopping Linden resident 32-year-old Raphael Cadogan and brutally chopping and injuring his brother Clive Cadogan in the early hours of Tuesday morning. The older brother was pronounced dead at the scene, while the younger brother is currently hospitalized. 37-year-old Rashani Bazdio and 48-year-old Mohammed Ramzan Shahid were jointly charged today with the murder of 85-year-old Sumintra Saw on the 28th of November at Bushwalk Police. They were not required to plead to the indictable charges, and they were both remanded to prison to the 14th of December 2022. And now for an update from the election COI. Yesterday, Assistant Registration Officer of GCOM Alexander Sophia Bowman said she was instructed to use a spreadsheet instead of the statement of polls during the tabulation of votes cast in District 4 for the 2020 general and regional elections. When asked by the COI who gave her the instructions, Bowman told them that she could not remember directly. It was either Region 4 Returning Officer Claremont Mingo or his clerk Michelle Miller. Denise Babb Cummings, Sheriff in February, and Carolyn Duncan, the three GCOM employees who on Tuesday declined to testify before the Commission of Inquiry, have jointly filed a $150 million suit against the state for breaching their constitutional right to a fair hearing and against self-incrimination. They argue that since they are currently before the courts facing criminal electoral charges stemming from the 2020 elections, participating in the COI would adversely affect the fairness of the criminal proceedings currently against them. On December 9, 2022, Guyana joined the rest of the world in celebrating International Anti-Corruption Day. The 2022 International Anti-Corruption Day seeks to highlight the crucial link between anti-corruption and peace, security, and development. Guyana ratified the United Nations Convention Against Corruption on April 16, 2008, and the International American Convention Against Corruption, the first treaty of this nature, on December 11, 2000. How compliant we've been with the convention is debatable, to say the least.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
It's December, which means it's officially robbery season. That's why you need to get security from Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has armed and unarmed guards, Marine Patrol, Canine Services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog alarm, spot camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million, or pay as low as $1.99 million down with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Street, Queenstown. A lot to Amashi.
And tell them to get entry for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News, viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question of current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it based to us. Last night I asked, what sort of development projects should we partner with other nations and why?
But before we get into that, I want to say a special thanks to David Griffith. He's our first monthly supporter. We really appreciate your contribution, and we'll be sure to keep up the good work.
Barefoot Wanderer says, the only country that comes to mind is Oman. Guyana and Oman have much in common. Oil, agriculture, fishing, and the need to educate to enable the citizens as the predominant workforce. Guyana can learn much from Oman as they develop their country from their oil reserves, have lifted their citizens to better standards of living, provided 0% loans to new homeowners with a work-to-own government program, invested in healthcare and education, initiated a post-oil era for the country to maintain the flow of revenues to put longevity to the employment of the citizens. Also to mention, Oman boasts a high birth rate, low death rate, and a long lifespan of the citizens due to better quality of living. It's not about getting material rich and pocket poor. It's about maintaining a balanced life for the citizens of Oman. I have never heard of the life of people in Oman before, but I will definitely research that further. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Dimitri V suggests reaching out to Japan because they're one of the leading places and technology in other places, and that we should build relationships with probably Uruguay and Argentina because they are intercontinental and they are more prosperous nations in South America, so they can trade that knowledge with them. Also, the climate in Argentina, for example, supports the production of fruits that can't grow in a more tropical climate like Guyana, so there's trade value there too. Very true, they make some of the best wine on the continent. J. Jairam suggests the United Kingdom to develop the education sector. England has one of the highest education standards in the world. Education used to be to England standards, now it's just watered down. And finally, Young Boss says development in agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and mining sectors is what we need. Partner with countries that have improved technology to help us with production on larger scales in these areas. Now for tonight's question. Do you support GCOM's decision to actually investigate UpNews claims, thereby delaying local government elections, or should they just go on as planned? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time I have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.